Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy the video. When Aaliyah made the song More Than a Woman, there was a certain piece of lyrics that I recognized, and this is really adding up for me. Aaliyah stated in More Than a Woman, "New bones in your closet." Well, things are about to get deeper, guys, because I went back and reviewed the case of what the prosecution stated. And remember what Aaliyah said in that song. Go and play it if you don't believe me. R.Kelly continued to target girls just days after marrying Aaliyah, and his trifling ass didn't skip a beat. See, R.Kelly has had over 25 years of a pattern of sexual abuse, and he took absolutely no breaks. Not even after illegally marrying secretly the 15-year-old singer Aaliyah in 1994. During those closing arguments, the prosecution also brought that up. Pour the tea. 3 days after his August 30th of 1994 Sheraton Hotel Shotgun wedding to age ain't nothing but a number singer Aaliyah, whom Kelly believed she was pregnant with his child, he raped another underage girl backstage, honey. Okay, they reminded the jury about this, guys. R.Kelly was still screwing other girls when he was with Aaliyah. Could you believe it? So it did not change after he married Aaliyah. Gettings during her cemetery on that 6-week trial told the jury. Now listen, y'all. They bring in dates up, particular dates and shit. So in fact, he didn't skip a beat. Gettings stated on September 2nd of 1994, after returning to southern leg of his tour, allegedly, he forced himself on the 17-year-old, and she testified, and this is the Jane Doe named Addie. This is who I was trying to tell y'all about in the other video. She took the picture in the hotel with Azrael and R.Kelly asleep on the sofa. Now, Eddie, that's what her name is, whom he had invited backstage with her friend after the show. Once again, guys, Diana Copeland had pre-typed little pieces of paper of Robert's number, and he was telling her and others, once he spotted out a victim or a minor or whatever, if they looked at young enough, to go ahead and go over to her and give the number out. Okay? And this has been stated long before this trial by several teenage girls. And see, what the prosecutors did, they intertwined Aaliyah and Addie's experiences with Sex Me. So as we know now, R.Kelly groomed girls and also boys for his sexual activity, despite the fact that they were too young to consent to that sexual activity. And Gettings told this to the jury as well. So R.Kelly claims that he's innocent. He has done nothing wrong. He's done no wrongdoing. And so, once again, guys, when Judge Ann Donnelly asked R.Kelly if he wanted to testify, R.Kelly said that he consulted with his defense team and he would not be taking the stand. Now remember, R.Kelly said that he was fighting for his life, and he told this in the interview with Gayle King. You're not fighting hard enough, Robert, because if you wanted to clear your name, Judge Ann Donnelly gave you that opportunity to do that at this racketeering trial. And it is your decision not to testify, Donnelly asked R.Kelly, and the jury was out of the room at the time. R.Kelly once again responded, "Yes, ma'am." And see, Kelly's defense team presented a brief case earlier this week with the singer's employees who claimed they never saw him hit women or lock them in rooms. Guys, they stated they never seen R.Kelly hit women or lock them in rooms. They never stated they'd never seen R.Kelly engaging in sex or inappropriate activities with underage girls. They never stated that they never seen R.Kelly in the piss tape, okay? And see, guys, what you guys are not understanding, and everybody is not understanding this, That minister who married R. Kelly and Aaliyah also sealed the deal for the jury to make a proper decision, in my opinion. We all know that Aaliyah was in fact 15. She was not 18. So this proves that R. Kelly has and have had sex with underage girls. Okay? Because why would he marry Aaliyah if he was not interested in her? He was having sex with her. She thought she was pregnant, in which she was pregnant. And then he decided to marry her. This seals the deal for R. Kelly. All these R. Kelly supporters are saying that these people are lying. R. Kelly is not a predator. He, in fact, is a predator. He married Diane Horton's daughter, and she stood by, and also Barry Hankerson. They all knew. So the question is, guys, why did people continue to support R. Kelly even after it was discovered that he married Aaliyah? I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about Aaliyah's family members, Barry Hankerson, Demetrius Smith. He was there. He knew. He arranged it. He was in collusion. He did what Robert Kelly told him to do, honey. And you guys are trying to say R. Kelly didn't know and he didn't accept the bribe. Yes, he in fact did, because he was prepared to marry Aaliyah that night, okay? He knew the wedding was going to happen because he had already taken advantage of her and began having sex with her because he thought she was pregnant. And Demetrius Smith, however, testified this as well. So he told on R. Kelly and stated that R. Kelly, in fact, did have sex with Aaliyah. He did not only marry her and she was underage, he also engaged in sexual activities with this underage girl at the time. To be honest, guys, people should be very outraged. People should find the behavior disgusting and abnormal and very unethical. When I was underage, I've never heard a man say, "Oh, you're too young. Let me stop talking to you." And once again, where was Aaliyah's parent? Because like the liar Diane Horton is, she claims that she was with Aaliyah throughout her entire career. This was included when she was dealing with R. Kelly. Her career started with Robert Sylvester Kelly. How did you leave your daughter unattended, Diane? How did your daughter end up in a hotel in Chicago in front of a minister and you were not there? Neither was her brother. Allegedly, we don't know that. And I'm here to tell you guys, there is plenty of artists and singers and celebrities, male and female, with very questionable passes and personal lives, and they still get supported. And guys, I don't care what anybody says. Aaliyah seems to have been preyed on throughout her entire career, in which Diane said she followed her throughout this. I wonder why no one has called out Timberland's weird ass either. Every time he speaks on there, it sounds so freaking creepy. And it's really sad if you're conditioned to be promiscuous and you're having threesomes and doing God knows what at 14 and 15. They say she was even 12, as young as 12. Okay? There's probably a lot you won't do after that. A lot of men know this and they are attracted to this. Whether they want to admit it or not, you can't convince me or other people in the industry don't know what's going on with R. Kelly and Aaliyah that they never knew. The body language and the explicit things that was going on in the photos and all of the interviews, guys, added up. 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4. And guys, I remember I was a very avid reader on Right On and like a lot of black magazines back then. And although there were rumors of underage marriage scandals, I did hear about that. The media did not make it explicitly clear that R. Kelly was a sexual predator and that Aaliyah was actually underage at that time and she was a victim. Okay, so I am around the same age as Aaliyah, as Brandy, Monica, and honestly, I just read it was a rumor of a forbidden love affair between a teenager and an older man. I never read of any legal charges and certainly never connected the scandal to an issue of sexual deviancy. See, back then, people would have judged her according to her look and how she carried herself. Because to me, it seems that Aaliyah had more of a mature vibe than Brandy. And I'm not saying that's right. So it was only when that sex tape with the 13-year-old girl, Rashonda Landfair, came out. And then that's how I started to connect the dots. No doubt people in the industry like Jay-Z would have known all the tea, and yet they continued to work with this man. And guys, we were not paying attention, but definitely if you go back, MTV also confirmed those rumors shortly after the marriage happened. They were talking about this. This was brought out, but nobody was really looking at it like that because we were so interested in Aaliyah's music, R.Kelly's music, and the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. And see, guys, back then, now that I did my research, and I do remember it, but it didn't seem like such a big deal to me because I really didn't understand. But Vibe actually wrote a huge cover story of the marriage, and they produced that marriage certificate. They brought it out. But once again, guys, we were not really paying attention to that. So Vibe TV actually produced that marriage certificate. And I don't know what everybody was thinking, but like I said, it could have been the music. It could have been just falling in love with the artist. And it was a scandal, everybody probably thought. But no, this shit really took place. So now I'm about to get back on Barry Hankerson's booty right quick. Now, Barry Hankerson's former bodyguard talked about Aaliyah and that R.Kelly incident. Now, I stated, guys, this was Barry Hankerson's former bodyguard. So Barry Hankerson knew, and this proves that, because his bodyguard knew as well. Barry Hankerson knew before the bodyguard. The bodyguard decided to come out and speak about it, what he witnessed. Wow, that's really awful. Michael Houghton and Barry Hankerson knew, and they did not stop it. In my opinion, guys, it was all for fame and money. So for Barry Hankerson to come out and throw Diane Houghton under the bus, he was absolutely, totally wrong for doing that. However, I'm not supporting Diane Houghton by any means. But for Barry Hankerson to turn it all on Aaliyah's mother, that's terribly, terribly wrong, Barry. And there's no way around this shit, Barry, because you knew. So when Barry Hankerson's bodyguard wife was chaperoning Aaliyah when that first album came out, and she stated that she saw R.Kelly doing the inappropriate things with Aaliyah, I'm sure this got back to Barry Hankerson. Because this bodyguard worked for Barry Hankerson, and this was Barry Hankerson's blood niece. But guys, this is the thing. Just like Jocelyn Savage, Aaliyah told her father and Diane that she was in love with R.Kelly, and she begged Michael Houghton, "Daddy, please don't press charges. I'm in love with him." And on the interview, guys, you can see she was in love because she stated that R.Kelly was her bestest friend in the whole wide world. So as you guys remember, R.Kelly did a sit-down interview with someone, and they asked him, did he like teenage girls? He's like, how young teenage girls or whatever he said. It was very disturbing because a man that does not like young women, they're not into young girls, would have stated, no, I'm not into young girls. I like women 30 and older. R.Kelly just started talking, and he should have just been quiet because, you know, the question was asked and the answer R.Kelly gave, he really told on himself, guys. Then he went on to state that I have 19-year-old friends. That doesn't sound right, Robert. And this proves that he's a predator, in my opinion. Then he went on to say that people in his camp were fired. Of course, they were fired because they didn't want to participate in some of the things that he wanted them to participate in, such as R.Kelly. R.Kelly stated himself that R.Kelly would say, go get her phone number, go get her phone number, and he would say, Robert, she looks really young. She looks young in the face. Now, I want you guys to listen to this clip, and I want you to listen carefully and analyze everything that Robert starts to say, and then how he tries to switch it up and hide it. But the very important key is that he knew this was an enterprise. If you listen to what he said about firing employees and hiring employees and not even believing or listening to new employees that he hired. And this is what created Robert Sylvester Kelly's enterprise. And this is how the federal FBI indicted him on this federal racketeering case. Listen closely, guys. He himself, in so many words, stated and already expressed that the people who were working for him were his enablers. He knew this. So just listen closely.
About you. Do you like teenage girls?
When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
Girls who are teenagers.
19?
19 and younger.
I have some 19-year-old friends, but I don't like anybody illegal if that's what we're talking about, underage.
Some people think that you like underage girls. What do you say to them?
Well, those people that don't know Robert, they don't know me, so I usually don't get into what people think about me, because all my career, even before the trial, people have had their opinions about Robert, and that's probably because it has a lot to do with me. I kind of shy away from the crowd, because I'm always in the studio, digging deep into the basement all the time of my house, creating music. So, people, when they don't know you and they can't really touch you like they could someone else, they seem to form opinions or have thoughts about you that they like to, think. So
some of the people who have worked with you have said that there's an issue here. Your former manager has said publicly that there's an issue of concern here. Your brother Kerry has said there's an issue of concern here.
Issue of concern? Mm-hmm. What do you mean when you say issue of concern?
They've said that they're concerned that you like underage girls.
Let me put it to you this way, man. Unfortunately, the people that don't work for me says that. The people that do work for me don't say that. And the people that don't work for me were fired. If you had someone work for you and they're mad because they're not working for you anymore, they're used to getting a certain amount of money, or they're used to getting a certain amount of fame because they work for you because you're famous, and all of a sudden they mess you around and then you let them go. Anything that comes up about you, they're gonna run and say, yeah, he did that to me. I knew this too about him. But you really can't, I don't want you, I don't want BET, I don't want my fans. Do not listen to the people that was fired. Don't even listen to the people that was hired. Listen to the facts and get into what you think and make your own opinions. If you're gonna have an opinion about me, have your opinion about what you may think about me. What you definitely don't do is go by somebody that was fired and they're mad and pissed off at me because they were fired.
But your brother Kerry was not fired. He's still your brother.
Yeah, he was fired.
But he's still your brother.
Doesn't matter. He's still my brother, but if he's still my brother, why did he get fired?
Why did he get fired?
I can't get into that.
Okay, fair enough. But
let me just say this. We may fire each other, but I fired them 1,000 times and rehired them.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. Until the next video. This interview was very explosive. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell.